Good evening. My name is Stephanie Severino, Assistant Director of Communications for the Office of Mayor Carlos A. Jimenez. On behalf of Mayor Jimenez, we would like to once again express our deepest condolences to the families of the victims of this tragedy. Mayor Jimenez, as you all know, has been in constant communication with his Deputy Mayor, Maurice Kemp, who oversees public safety, with the directors of the Miami-Dade Police Department, as well as the Miami-Dade Fire and Rescue Department. This has been no easy task, and he would like to also express his gratitude to all the men and women who have worked tirelessly during the phase of search and rescue and during the last few hours to recover the victims of this tragedy. He would also like to express his gratitude to all the agencies involved, especially the NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board, OSHA, MDPD, MDFR, the Salvation Army, Florida International University, as well as the Sweetwater Police Department and the Florida Highway Patrol for all of their work. And now I would like to introduce the Honorable U.S. Senator Marco Rubio.
I also begin by expressing, as we have and tried to do personally with as many of the families as possible, our deepest condolences on the loss of life and those who have been injured as well. As the nature is of this community, it's a number of people that have been working on this have also either known the families or known someone in the family, and it happened this morning. Someone that I've known for a while had a very close relative that was one of the individuals who lost their life here, so it makes it even more real for all of us. So our deepest condolences to all of these families. I also want to take a moment to thank the Miami-Dade Police Department, the Sweetwater Police, Florida International University, their law enforcement division, Miami-Dade Fire Rescue, Florida Highway Patrol, of course the federal agencies that are here, and others, the Red Cross. Extraordinary work. If you get to see it from up close, the complexity of what they've done here today is significant. This is the images at home on television do not do justice to how difficult the work is they had to do, and have had to do in a way that's both sensitive to the pain of these families and at the same time preserves evidence and the scene. And so I think we're very fortunate to have such fine departments in our service. I wanted to briefly talk about the nature of the project and federal investigation. This project is the result of a $16.5 million what's called Tiger Grant. Those Tiger Grants are given to it's for local projects, called local area projects, when a entity locally does not have the expertise to carry out a project. And so they're partnering with someone. In this particular case, the partnership and the administrator on that partnership is the Florida Department of Transportation. And so their role, of course, was to review the budget and to review the design and also to help with scoring in terms of awarding it. Now, moving forward, all of this is going to be investigated. I had a chance to sit today with the lead investigators from the NTSB. The NTSB is a federal entity that is mandated by Congress to conduct objective, precise accident investigations. By the way, they also provide assistance to the victims and their families. So they step into that role. They have a division that does that as well. Both of those things are ongoing. And I want to take a moment as well to point out the victim advocates for the Miami-Dade Police Department are extraordinary. And so there's a very close partnership with them. The NTSB has now stepped up. And of course, the Red Cross has been here from the first day. Their job in this investigation is to review this project from start to finish. They're going to go through all of the plans, all of the decisions that were made, all the changes that were made, all of the materials. Their job is not to ultimately issue a report saying it's so-and-so's fault. They will issue a report of fact. They will outline this is what went wrong and this is why it went wrong. And the primary purpose of that is to make sure that this never happens again, to learn from these things and so that they never happen again. That process has begun. It is already ongoing. I know they've already made progress in the first 24 hours, zeroing in on what they want to focus on. This is an agency that has subpoena power to get documents. From all accounts today, all of the entities involved have been incredibly cooperative with them. They don't anticipate having to do that, but they have the power to do that if they need to. And in the end, it'll take a few months. These are not quick reports. It's the same agency that when a plane crashes does that investigation. But what they will release is a report that will give in great detail, engineering level detail, about the decisions that were made on this project and pinpoint where was the mistake and or the failure that led to this catastrophic and tragic event. And that is something that the community needs, the families need, the country needs to make sure it never happens again. Thank you. Am I introducing Miami-Dade Police Chief?
Thank you, sir. Good evening. I think it was today, earlier in the day. I don't even remember anymore, but I believe we had a press conference earlier where we had recovered 3 victims from the rubble behind us. So tonight, I can tell you that we believe that we've recovered the final 2 individuals, final 2 victims from underneath the bridge. So that makes it a total of 5 people that were recovered from underneath the bridge. There was 1 individual that passed away at the hospital, for a total of 6 people. And I believe that is the final count. Although we expected that perhaps we may find more, thankfully we did not. So this tragedy ends with a total of 6. Despite that, we're going to go once again and make sure that there's nobody else down there. But we're pretty confident that no one's left. So all the victims have been removed from this site and taken to the medical examiners, so eventually they could be turned over to their family members. This was no easy task, and I know you keep hearing this, but to watch the work of the Miami-Dade Fire Department, the Miami-Dade Fire Rescue Department, Chief Downey and his men and women, to watch the work of the rescuers that came in here from the construction company that assisted us in this process. It has been a laborious, tedious process to remove 950 tons of weight of rubble, of pieces of concrete from above those victims. It was very difficult. But you know, the biggest tonnage that was removed tonight by us finally getting these victims out of here, the biggest tonnage is the tonnage that were being carried by the families, the parents, the husbands, the wives of the people that were underneath there. The family members, I don't even know how they're able to hold up. Our victim advocates have been with them the entire time. I've had opportunities to speak to them, and it is heart-wrenching when you do so. To lose a loved one like this, I cannot even express the empathy, the compassion that they have, and the empathy that I have to face them. It is heart-wrenching. It's hard to hold back your tears when you listen to them. You listen to every individual story. But we finally got the last victim out. And it would not have happened if not for the work of the men and women from that fire department. That is one of the greatest departments. I guess to me, it's the greatest department in America, folks, because they did not stop. The only pause from the rescuers was when we asked them to pause so that we can pray over every victim and escort them out with our motorcycle unit to the ME's office. That was the only pause in work. I cannot tell you how proud I am of the partnership with the law enforcement community that came to our aid. I cannot tell you how proud I am of our community that rose up in a moment of tragedy to support us with water, food, and whatever we asked for. They were bringing it out here. So, you know, I am at a loss for words past this. I'm exhausted. We all are. But the work does not stop here. Now we get into the evidence recovery mode and the investigation. So we continue to work hand in hand with the NTSB and OSHA as we move forward. Our state attorney, Kathy Fernandez-Rondo, has been so supportive, continuously calling me, asking us what our needs are, and that partnership will continue so we can monitor the NTSB investigation and see where this investigation leads us. Thank you so much.
Good evening. My name is Arthur Holmes Jr., Assistant Chief of Operations for Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. On behalf of Chief Downey and Miami-Dade Fire Rescue family, we want to extend condolences to the family members of the victims of this tragic incident. As a rescuer, we always hope to find life up under the pile. But once we moved to recovery, we made a commitment to remove that to bring closure to the family. We utilize specially technical rescue units. We had over 3 shifts, over 100 of our firemen and women of Miami-Dade Fire Rescue perform the task. We utilize specialized equipment, and today we completed our objective and task with the assistance of the contractors, Codoti. Now we will move forward and assist Miami-Dade PD whatever they need necessary. And I'm always available for any questions and answers.
We continue to emphasize the importance and cooperation of the motorists in the area. 8th Street will continue to be closed from 107 to 117 indefinitely as we continue with this investigation. As we prepare for Monday's rush hour, students returning back to school, and the youth fair, we have taken additional steps to add many digital signs throughout the area to assist motorists traveling the area. Once again, it's important for them to work with us. It's important to get equipment in and equipment out. And if we're able to get the area free of traffic, that's going to help us a lot. So on behalf of the Highway Patrol, we thank everyone who is assisting us. And once again, it's been very tough, and we thank you.